Alright, supper's ready and Foxtrot. This is Foxtrot. I totally just hit myself with the paper. It's okay. No cuts. No cuts. What's up, guys? Welcome back to Just JP. My name is Justin. And today we are finally doing my final thoughts video on Foxtrot from Genesis. I know it's been a long time. I mentioned it in the Supper's Ready video, but I just had a lot of work that came on, so I wanted to make sure I had enough time to really not only listen to the album and give it time to settle in with me so I had appropriate final thoughts, but I didn't want to rush the video at all for you guys. Thank you guys so much for sticking with me and joining me on my journey, listening to this album and of course really every other video and band that comes through on this channel. Thank you for the donations from the Supper's Ready video. I did buy batteries so that way it's easier to work in here. Now on this video, I am going to be focusing more on the 5 songs preceding Supper's Ready because I don't think that these songs really are eclipsed by the greatness of Supper's Ready. And I think that there's something really interesting in all of them. That's why I made Supper's Ready an individual final thoughts video. This will be focusing more on tracks 1 through 5. So I'm not really going to talk about Supper's Ready here on this one. What can I say about Genesis Foxtrot, their 4th album, except that it's amazing. It's really consistent. All the different sounds that come in through them are amazing. From the very opening of the Mellotron in Watcher of the Skies to the ending in New Jerusalem with Supper's Ready. They go through such a journey outside of Supper's Ready from tracks 1 through 5, and they have such variation in their music that I don't think you'll ever really be bored listening to this album. Now, I've only heard 2 albums from Genesis at this exact point. I have to say that I did enjoy this a little bit more than Trick of the Tail. This album sounds a little bit more ambitious, like it's trying to do more. Now, you guys know that I do like Trick of the Tail, and it's always going to hold a special place for me since it's the first Genesis album that I listened to. But I feel like they were trying to push boundaries a little bit more in this one. But it's interesting for me to come back to this album from a future album and see how they're really trying to push the line just a little bit more. As I go on in this review, what I'll be doing is giving like just a general, my thoughts on the album, the individual songs, and then I'll have certain categories such as my favorite lyric or my favorite moment that I will go through closer to like the middle and the end of this video. And then at the end of the video, I'll give you my total percentage of my PPS, which stands for pleasure per second, in which I take the seconds of the total song, I divide it by what I didn't like and do some math, and I get a percentage of what I like and enjoyed of each song and the album overall. Watcher of the Skies is one of the best openings ever. It gives you a nice mysterious opening with the Mellotron, and then it leads into this beautiful rhythm section that you guys have helped me to appreciate is like a Morse code. But the way that the bass and the drums interplay with Peter and Hackett kind of coming in and out of it is just so wonderfully done. I think it sounds really fun. It's bouncy. It has a fun message. I like the story of the song about the alien just looking down at Earth and being like, what happened here? You know? I mean, listen to this rhythm section. Come on. I love that. That's a great opening. It's a perfect opening. Timetable, a song that at first listen on my other video, I was a bit underwhelmed by. And even though I still don't think that this is necessarily a standout track, I'd be hard pressed to say that this is a bad one because it's not at all. And as I've listened to it a little bit more, you can tell that this is Banks's baby. You can tell that he had a lead part in it. The chorus is catchy, the piano rhythms and melodies are really beautiful, and it does sound really nice. It's just not necessarily my favorite on the album. But it's absolutely a nice rest after the powerful Watcher of the Skies. Now, I do like that. You know, before when I first listened to it, I'm still not 100% in love with the way that Gabriel sings, "Why?" But I've gotten more used to it, and the chorus, especially the instrumentation behind it, I really enjoy the chorus. So in an album listen, I would never skip this song, you know? So do I think that it's the best song in the album or that it's like a masterpiece? No. Would I skip it? No. Especially the ending melody as the song fades out. It's just nice and relaxing. Like I said, this album does work very well at having individual pieces that do coalesce and come together into the greater album sound. Now we get into that explosive opening. Just like Entangled into Squonk, we got Timetable into Get 'Em Out by Friday. I love this. I love the opening. I love pretty much every single moment about this song. This is awesome. A darkly comedic undertone in the lyrics. The music is so well delivered. This is like their rocker of a song. And I think that it gets even better from the PA announcer part into the rest of the song. I love that section so much. Let me play it real quick. Love how the song cools down, has this sci-fi voiceover, and then gets into this section right here. I like that a lot. That's so cool. But yeah, Get 'Em Out by Friday. Love it. I love the whole thing. That's a great song. This is a good section. Oh, I'm sorry, I didn't even introduce the song. I'm just listening to it. I started listening to the song again. Can Utility and the Coastliners. Another song that I feel overall is really strong. There's a few moments that I'm not loving, but it's still a great classic song. Stands out a lot from the rest. This section in Coastliners is really good. I love the mellotron that comes in here. They get a lot of use out of that mellotron, by the way. A lot of use out of it. Great instrumental section, though, in Coastliners. This solo, it's okay. But it makes up for it in this. Yeah, I just like hearing Hackett a little bit more, especially in that solo. I love the way that Peter Gabriel comes back in at the end of the song, nice and powerful. It's a good song overall. And then, of course, on the beginning of side B, before Supper's Ready, we have Horizons, which, is it a short piece? Yes. Is it relatively simple? I don't know. Is it? I don't know how good or not good the guitar playing is. I don't care either way because it sounds good. I like it. For the minute and 40 seconds that it exists on this album, I think it stands out. I think it does a nice job of ending Coastliners from side A and leading into Supper's Ready. Is it something that I would listen to on its own? Probably not. But is it something that I would skip on an album listen? Absolutely not. Like it's still necessary. And that's one thing that I mean about this album is that everything is necessary. And then Supper's Ready, of course, ending the album on probably one of the best notes and best moments in progressive and musical history. It's perfect. There's not much else to say about it. Everything else I did say about it, you can watch in the other video. I told you I'm not going to really talk about it here. Every other song on this album really deserves a look at and at least a brief talking about because they're all really good on their own. It's just sad that they put Supper's Ready on the same album so that it kind of eclipses and overshadows the rest of it. Now, if we're getting into the categories for my final thoughts, best performance on this album. This is not a disservice to any of the band members. This is not a disservice to anyone because obviously they all put their heart and true work into this. But I had to give the star performance and my favorite performance to Steve Hackett, who plays absolutely just his heart out on this album. He plays super subtly and super nicely on songs like Horizons and Coastliners, the beautiful classical acoustic guitar. It's magical. I love the way that he plays. It's nice when you can hear every string and every single note so clear, whether the band is going off or not. My runner-up performance was Banks, by the way. My runner-up performance was Banks. My favorite lyric on the album, just like Supper's Ready, this was a really hard choice to make because there were quite a few that I did enjoy. But I can only go with one, so I chose from Watcher of the Skies. Watcher of the skies, watcher of all, his is a world alone, no world is his own. He whom life can no longer surprise, raising his eyes, beholds a planet unknown. I chose that lyric. One, it's the opener of the album, and I feel like it's a perfect opener and beginning to the journey you're going to take on Foxtrot. But not only did I really like the lyrics themselves, but overall the message of the song, which I had talked about a little bit more in that video for that specific song. Taking this onto a grander view, and I don't know if Genesis had intended this or not, but I see this as kind of like the listener. Seeing this album in a store, seeing this album cover, it's so intriguing. What in the world could it be? What's this fox doing in a dress? Who are these people on the beach? Let me pick up this album. And like the Watcher of the Skies, who maybe people felt that there's no other music that can really surprise them. There's no music that really is going to make them feel something. They've already listened to a ton of music. What is this band? What is this? Genesis? What can they do? Raising his eyes beholds a planet unknown. Well, trust me, if you didn't know Genesis before you listened to this album, before you listened to Supper's Ready, you will absolutely remember every single note that you hear when you listen to that album. Like I said, I'm sure I'm reaching with the meaning, but this is just my interpretation and kind of what I see this as, especially as important as the first lyric in an album and in the first song. My favorite moment on the album, there were a few moments that nearly made this cut, but I have to go with one that I actually already played a little bit ago. And that favorite moment will have to be right here on Get 'Em Out by Friday. I'm sorry, but I love this. This is perfect. I love how everything is just brought back, restrained. Gabriel's voice is so sad. Banks in the back of the synth, or whatever, the keyboard. The bass, disparity just plucking along in the back. Drumming, slow and powerful. Look at the way he's singing. Yeah, it's that moment in Get 'Em Out by Friday. That's my favorite moment on this album, excluding Supper's Ready. I told you I'm not going to talk about it much in this video. What are you doing about it complaining here? Go back and watch the other video if you want to know anything about Supper's Ready. Because if I was doing this truly about Foxtrot, the whole album, yes, it is absolutely overshadowed by Supper's Ready, and most of the favorite moments, the lyrics, and everything would be on that song. That's why I said I'm ignoring it basically on this one. Oh, but then it's not really the full album. Final thoughts. So when it gets to my PPS, my pleasure per second, when we're getting to this album listen of Foxtrot, like I said, I take the total album time and I listen to the album, and every section or every moment I don't like, I start a stopwatch, and then when that ends, I stop it. And in totality, I get the total time I didn't like on the song compared to the total time of the song or of the album. So I'll have the numbers up on screen for you. But Watcher of the Skies is 100%, Timetable 97.6%, Get 'Em Out by Friday 99.1%, Can Utility 95.1%, Horizons 100%, and Supper's Ready 98.9%. Which means that there was 1.4% of this album that I disliked, which was 45 seconds, by the way, in case you want to know. Which means that I enjoyed 98.6% of this album. I think that's pretty good. My PPS is 98.6. That's a good number. That's a good number. For my song rankings, they kind of equal out to it. Let's see. Now, if I have to rate the songs from my favorite to least favorite, this is how it is. Obviously, Supper's Ready. If we're taking that out of the mix, favorite song, Get 'Em Out by Friday. Second favorite, Watcher. Horizons, Can Utility, ending at the bottom with Time. Like I said, Time isn't bad. Just a little on the passive end of a listen for me. Anyways, that's kind of all there is on on that paper. Guys, this was a gem of an album. I really had a great time listening to it. Thank you guys so much for the recommendation of it. I'm glad that I chose it because it was nice coming from Trick of the Tail, going back in time a little bit and seeing a few more of their roots and where they grew from. As of right now, I'm not sure what the next Genesis album I'm going to do is. I'm bouncing around a few in my head. Of course, at this current moment, I'm doing an album listen of Octopus by Gentle Giant, so hopefully you're around for that. Of course, if you did enjoy the video, please let me know. If you enjoyed these final thoughts and my analytical side of it and everything, please let me know because I enjoy doing it, but I don't know if you actually enjoy watching it. You can like the video, you can share the video. Sharing helps a ton. I hope that you guys are having a great night. I'm going to go back and listen to this. I think I listened to this album like at least 20 times, probably a lot more in the past month between when I ended Supper's Ready on this channel to now. Thank you guys so much for watching. It's beyond appreciated. And I will talk to you guys later. Bye.